Hello everyone, welcome back. Greetings of the day. I believe you people must have gone through the previous video and understood the concept of market and market segmentation. By today, we will be moving ahead with a new topic, and that is pricing and advertising. So let's quickly move ahead and start with the session for the day. The first one is Introduction to Pricing. Let us understand the concept of pricing in brief. Pricing decisions are the most important decisions which are made by business or individual enterprises. These decisions determines the market share and comparative situation of an enterprise. These decisions also determine that the current situation of the company within the market as compared to the competitors. The pricing decisions also are gonna be reflected on the marketing or else the advertising or promotional campaigns carried out by the enterprise. Therefore, a decision of determining price for a product must be taken only after considering all the relevant features. Ultimately, the moral of the story within the introduction says that all the decisions with regards to either promotion, advertising, taking further calls for future investments, and every single thing that relates to the financial affairs of the company would depend upon the current prices of the products and services, or else at times it may even vary from one another. Hence, pricing has its own importance in terms of every single product or else the goods or services available within the market. After understanding the importance of pricing, it is now time for the objective of pricing decisions. Objective of pricing decision would basically make us understand that these decisions to be made for deciding a price for any product or service is always a critical decision to be made. Because of being critical, it is never given a priority. It is always preferred that other features and factors should be considered, and at the end, the feature of pricing decision should be considered. This is done with the reason that it is always believed that pricing decisions cannot be made without understanding the financial tools. Such financial tools may include a spreadsheet which can help the marketeer to create an impact of the product, understand it wisely, and then get into the pricing concept and decide a specific price level. The objective of pricing decision depends on following points to be considered. The first one is a proper return on investments. Next one, maximum profit through minimum sales. Third, price stability. Fourth one, a certain margin of profit. Next to this is competition. The second last is according to the paying capacity of the consumer or else the customer. The last one over here is long-term success of the enterprise. Now, let us understand all these points one after the other. Let's take the first one. The first one is proper returns on investments. Every single marketeer, whenever plans to decide a price for any of its product or services, will always look into the returns what he or she is going to gain out of their investments. Investments are always done only if they have an aim or else an objective to gain certain profits out of this in future. Let's move to the next one, that is maximum profit through minimum sales. At times, the marketers do prefer to set certain prices at a level wherein even with minimum sales they have maximum profits coming to them. This is how every single marketeer prefers to work, and would decide the pricing to be more profitable for them. Third one is price stability. At times, it is always considered that the stability of price will ensure the customer satisfaction and bring the customer back to the marketeer again and again, maybe for the same product or services or else few other. But this ensures a regular business coming from a same category or else a segment of clients. The fourth one is certain margin of profit. When we talk about certain margin of profit, this basically refers to the mindset of the businessman or else the producer of certain goods and products, in a way that they always keep pricing at a level wherein at least a certain margin is kept to gain a bit of profit out of whatever they have invested and whatever they have created or manufactured as a product. Moving further, the next one that we have is a competition. Whenever we talk about competition, we have seen in terms of economy as well that whenever a monopoly is broken in any of the segments, competition arrives. And when competition exists in the market, it definitely reflects over the prices of various goods and services. Hence, the competition within the same segment, maybe for goods or services, will definitely create an impact or else will create a mindset wherein the businessman whomsoever is dealing with these products or services will think twice before deciding what the price of his or her product or service should be. Next one, according to the paying capacity of the consumer. Ideally speaking, many a times we have seen the concept of target market. Whenever we look into the concept of target market, the pricing of the product would differ from one place to another on the basis of spending capacity or else the expenditure power of the locals at that destination. Because of the same reasons, their products and their pricings would vary from one place to another only in terms of the spending capacity of people at a certain location. Last one for the sheet is long-term success for the enterprises. Many a times the pricings are always considered in a way that they'll be kept at a lower side initially, and then once when the company or else the enterprise or else even at times the product of a certain company gains a bit popularity and acceptance in the market, the prices would increase. This variation from less to higher or higher to lesser prices of any of such products and services would completely depend upon the long-term plans of the enterprises. If the enterprise plans to play a long inning within a certain region of market, would start with lower prices, will establish themselves within the market, and then slowly and steadily by proving their quality, they may find variations coming to various prices of different products. After going through the objectives of pricing decisions, let us move further and see what exactly is the importance of pricing. When we talk about importance of pricing, pricing has its own importance as compared to quality and quantity of various goods or services. The importance of pricing plays a major role even in making a decision with regards to purchasing or else selecting a specific product. Hence, sales and purchases of certain goods and services would also have a reflection of pricing. It even helps in decision making and selecting a right product. Now let us understand few important points wherein pricing is even important for the following reasons. The reasons are: the first one, most flexible marketing mix variable. Second one, setting of a right price. Third one, first impression triggers. And the last one is important part of sales promotion. As we have seen, pricing for any product or services plays a major role and it has its own importance. When we talk about the flexibility of any of market mix, it reflects on the flexibility of pricing as well, wherein as per the situation and conditions of the market, the prices may vary from one another within a span of time. Next one is setting of a right price. This means understanding the current situation or the scenario of the market and then finalizing a correct price for any of the product or services to be made available to the consumer. Moving further, we have first impression triggers. Whenever a product or a service is launched in the market, the first thing that comes to a consumer's mind is all about the pricing. That's the reason whenever the first impression is to be created, the pricing needs to be kept in a way which attracts the consumer, and finally it is said that the important factor of making a product click would be the pricing of the same product or service. The fourth one here to be understood is nothing else than being an important part of sales promotion. This means that pricing has its importance even in terms of sales promotion. That means a good amount of investment is required and a price is incurred even for sales promotion of goods and services. After understanding the importance, let us move ahead and understand the features affecting the pricing decisions. When we talk about these factors or features affecting the pricing decisions, there are two important ones, which are internal factors and external factors. Let us understand the internal factors first of all. When we talk about internal factors, these are results of companies' decisions or actions. Thus, they are completely controlled by the company itself. However, there are huge chances available that any of the organization may have or may not have a complete control over these factors. Making a quick decision would always be difficult and at times may not even be possible to create a quick decision and finally take a call about what changes should be brought in the operations. Next one is an external factor. These are not controlled by the company but will always affect the pricing. For an example, a lot of situations wherein a company would definitely have decided a specific price to sell its product or services, but because of certain natural calamities or else the situation wherein a social conflict can create a lot of issues in the society and the availability of the product may create a scarcity of it. In certain situations, the company has no control over any of these factors. Hence, they are considered to be the external factors affecting the pricing decisions. After understanding the factors affecting the pricing decisions, now it's time for us to move to the next topic for the day and understand the same in detail. So, the next topic is advertising. Before we understand the entire concept of advertising, let us understand a small introductory part of advertising. Advertising can be defined as a mass communication of goods, services, and ideas by an individual sponsor. It is always believed that It is a paid mode of communication because the advertiser has to pay for the space or else the time in which his advertisement appears. For an example, advertisements can be shared on various modes of communication. When we talk about media or multimedia form of communication and advertisement within the same, there are a lot of options where the advertisements can be shared. Few such options may include an advertisement that can be given into a written form within newspapers and magazines. When we talk about the digital platform, we have other sources wherein audio and even audio visuals in terms of radio and television can be utilized for providing a space or else a time for an advertisement to appear in front of the potential customers. After introduction of advertisements, now let us understand the objectives of advertisements. When we talk about advertising and the objectives of the same, there are three major objectives which are to inform, second one is to persuade, and the third one is to remind. Ideally speaking, the intentions or objectives behind sharing advertisements on different media is to ensure that all these 3 points or the objectives are to be covered. The first one under to inform is to inform the target customers about a new product. This means whenever a new product is introduced in the market, the information must be shared with the clients or the customers, those who prefer to use such kind of goods and services. Second one, suggesting the applications of the product. This means whenever a new application or a product is launched, the features are to be introduced and should be conveyed to the customers for a friendly usage of those goods or services. Third one, informing the market about changes in prices. Whenever a new product is launched, we always believe that a slight change in the features or characteristics of the same would be there. Hence, there would be a variation or else a change within the pricing as well. Fourth one, that is demonstrating how a product functions. Many a times we see that whenever we buy certain products or even services, a demonstration is always given by the company so that it's easy for the consumers to understand how the object or else the substance works. Next one is explaining the available services. As we all know, let's take the same example. If we have bought a product or else a service, along with such products and services, many a times companies or producers do ensure by giving us certain services wherein the wear and tear of the products can be taken care of. Next is checking the fake information and reducing fears of the customer. Many a times when products and services are launched in the market, there are a lot of rumors or predictions being spread all over the market. So it is important to ensure that to check that the features, whatever has been explained, are correct or they are the fake informations. Many a times this is done by rival companies to take over the business. But the company whomsoever produces or else launches a goods or services should ensure that the fear within the consumer's market should be removed from there, and a clear picture about what a product or else a service is all about should be explained to the clients and customers, those who are regular users for their own products and services. Moving further, the last one available here is explaining us about building the company image to convince. We have seen that a lot of reputed companies, when they come up with certain goods or services, there is an assurance within the name itself. The clientele has a faith within the company by its name itself. It means that whenever a company, a reputed one, comes up with a product, the chances or else the guarantee available for the success is as compared to others at a higher side. After the first objective, that is informing, let's move to the next one, which is persuading or else to persuade. The synonym for the word is known as convincing. I believe the word convincing will give you a better idea to understand the following points. To start with them, the first one that we have is promoting brand preferences. It means whenever a brand preference is there with people, they definitely ensure buying of certain brands for a regular use. But when we talk about convincing people to buy a specific brand, it completely depends upon persuading them to have a faith within a brand by showing its quality, quantity, and services. So that is how a persuading of brands can be done. Moving to the next one is encouraging brand loyalty. We know that a lot of people have a brand loyalty, and it means that they ensure usage of a same brand for certain goods or services. But many a times we believe that when new products come into market or new services being launched, they might attract regular clients of a specific company. Because of the same reason, it is to be ensured by every single company that a brand loyalty should be created in the customer's mind so that the same customer may not shift from their brand to some other brand which is newly launched in the market. Moving further, next one is one of the most important one, which is changing customers' perceptions of the product attribute. This means that whenever a product is available, people do have certain mindsets about their products and they have certain predictions about how the product will serve them or reacts towards their expectation. It is always suggested that people, those who are as a enterprise or else an individual promoters of products, should ensure that the changes within the mindset should not happen, because of which the above given point, which is brand loyalty, can be maintained and it is ensured that sales may happen. Finally, moving to the second last point on the slide, that is persuading customers to purchase now. That means at times we know that a lot of brands and a lot of services and goods amongst those brands suggest us to buy certain products or services at a given point of time so that we can have the best of the benefits coming out of the same. That is some or the other way a target which is set within the concept of advertisement, and it can be even achieved through the advertisings only. Finally, moving to the last point within the slide, and that is persuading customers to receive a sales call. We know that a lot of people do not believe in listening to the sales calls. Whenever we have certain clients or customers whom we always consider to be a probable or else a guaranteed customer, we should try and convince them to listen to our sales calls so that the promotions and presentations of the goods and products can be done in a way which can convince them or else persuade them to either buy or subscribe for our goods and services. After persuading, we need to move to the next point. That's the third and the last one within the objectives. It is reminding. When we talk about reminding, it is important that we should remind customers about a requirement or else a need of the product in near future. Next to this one is reminding them when to buy it and where to buy it from. Third one is to keep it in their mind that even if it might be an off season, but yes, very shortly they may require something. Last but not the least is maintaining its top of their mind within their awareness. Means we should just give them a reminder so that it should not slip out of their minds, and they can ensure that the goods and services can be asked for at a right time and should be made available from our end whenever it's required by them. Now, after this, let us understand the importance of advertising. While discussing importance of advertising, we need to understand that in a successful business, advertising plays a crucial role. Advertising not only helps in selling of products and services but also promotes sales. It basically creates awareness in people and market about certain goods and products. General customers and their considerations towards certain brands and products may get changed. Advertisements do convince people to have a preference about correct product, and even at times it may help by changing a mindset through creating a new option of choice. This helps in choosing a right product coming from a better brand. After importance of advertising, moving ahead, we have medium or media of advertising. When we talk about media or medium of advertising, it means that any object or device which is needed to communicate a message. That too, it can be either a written or else an oral message to be communicated or conveyed to a probable customer. These mediums or media are divided into four major parts. The first one amongst them is press advertising. Second one is outdoor or mural advertising. Next to that, we have advertisements by mail, and the last one is other medias. Now, I hope you must be clear with the concept of pricing and advertising. We have seen those 2 points in a detailed manner, and with few examples, the concept would be very much clear to you all. That's all for the day. But yes, if you have any doubts or questions, do not forget them to be shared at the email ID given below. Do take care of yourself, stay home, stay safe, and thank you so much.